Alright, BookTube, what is going on here? Let's talk about the books that I'm planning to read in 2025, because there are a lot of them. There's about 7 of them, and they're all so good. I really want them early. I wish I had more clout. I really did, guys. I really wish I had more clout to read books, but I don't. I'm a 790 subscriber Andy, and with mediocre low views. So not much we can do about that, but the best we can do is keep going and see what happens. There are a lot of books coming out this year that I want to read, and I'm going to tell you about them, not in super big detail, but I'm going to tell you enough detail about them as to why I want to read them. Maybe we'll check out the Amazon teaser, things like that, right? Not all these books are releasing this year. Some of them are already out. They're just now on my list for the second half of the year. This list is 100% different from what I thought I was going to read at the beginning of the year, which is why I'm making a new video. And because I need a video for this week, who knows? So, without further ado, let's just get into the books that I want to read in 2025, right? Let's just do this. I read 35 books this year, and I kind of feel that's like a lowball number. You know, I talk all this high stuff about being a reader, and I only read 35 books by the end of June. Oh, by the way, it's halfway through 2025 now. It's only been 6 months, and I've only read 35 books in 6 months. I need to pick up pace. Now, I've still been in a book slump at the time of recording this. It's been in the book slump for about 3 weeks now, after reading 13 books back in May, in 13 days, that is. So, this video isn't about that. This video is about what I want to read coming up in 2025, because there's quite a few banger releases releasing in 2025, and I want to talk to you guys about them. Mainly as a way of nerding out about the books that I really want to read later this year, and then telling you that I'm going to read them so that I actually go do read them. Now, that's not saying that I 100% do the things that I tell you that I'm going to do. I don't. Sahil Bloom would be very upset with me right now. But let's start with Strength of the Few by James Islington. This is book 2 in the Hierarchy series. Book 1 was Will of the Many that came out in 2023. And I read it last year in 2024. I initially gave it like a 3.5 stars, right? I was wrong. I was very incorrect about that. And nice sunlight. The reason why is that book is really layered, really heavy, amazing book. It's a whole pyramid scheme, and I incorrectly rated it when I initially, finished the book. I would say it's a 4.5. I'm due for a reread. I will be rereading it this year before book 2 comes out, which it comes out in November, I believe. It comes out in November. There's so many books coming out this year. Oh my god. Okay, so if you haven't read Will of the Many, here's the gist, right? Essentially, you have your main character, Vis Telemus, who is the sole survivor of the previous ruling class's royal family. After there was a massive coup and the entire political landscape changed, he's the sole survivor. Nobody really knows who he is, but some people now have an idea of who he is by the end of book 1. He is out for basically revenge, but in his own way. He connects. Ooh, wind. We have wind. 1 second. Okay, cool. Now I have a troll on me, and I don't know which way the mic is going, so I'm going to talk a little bit louder just in case. So, yeah, so the Will of the Many, Vis Telemus, right? He meets up with a wealthy, I think, tier 5 or tier 4 individual to sponsor him, and gets into the schooling, the pyramid school. The only way that he can get to what he wants is by being at the top of the school class. What's the word for it? Their entire class system. Essentially, you have a pyramid system of most people at the bottom, very few people at the top, and the people at the top are leeching the will from the people at the bottom. So the level that you are, say you are at the bottom at an octavus, or whatever they call them, certain levels of the school ruling body can only have a certain amount of people in there, right? 3, 2, 1, 4, 5, how many ever else. So this has to basically climb the ranks of the school. That's the gist of the book, right? You might think, oh, this isn't that interesting. It's only because I'm telling you what I remember. Now, the funny thing is, I was going onto Amazon to see what the Strength of the Few, like Amazon teaser was. Apparently, I remember absolutely nothing from the Will of the Many, at least the important parts, because here's what it said. It said, I am no longer one. I won the Ludicium and I lost everything. And now, impossibly, the ancient device beyond the labyrinth has replicated me across 3 separate worlds. I remember the competition that he was in. I remember the labyrinth. I remember like the tense situation of him meeting a being inside the labyrinth and some flash going off, right? I remember all that stuff. What the fuck do you mean replicated? How when did he get replicated? He then said, like, I was replicated across the Obidium, the Lucium, and the rest. 3 different bodies, 3 different lives. Is this the 3-body problem going on here? What is? I don't remember that. I don't remember that happening. I don't know if the Amazon teaser just spoiled me, but I don't remember that happening. Anyways, so that's why I'm so excited to read this. It is quite literally a mind bender. It's so good, and I love this as a main protagonist. I really do. He's my fucking guy. Yeah, so I'm planning on rereading Will the Many this year. So if you want to read it with me, let me know, and I'll obviously tell you at the end of the month when I'm planning to read it. So you can read it with me. It's amazing. It is truly amazing. I'm so jealous of people like Patrick and other people who got the copy early. I need more clout. I need y'all to help me get more clout so I can get these books early, guys. I need y'all to help me get more clout so I can get these books early. Because I can't keep doing this. I can't keep waiting for November every single year. I can't keep doing this. Now, the next book is called Reckoning. It is by Michael R. Miller. It is book 4 in the Songs of Chaos series, right? This shit is so gas. This series is my favorite series of 2025 and quite possibly could be my top 10 series of all time, depending on how the actual full series goes. That I really wish, once again, I had more clout so I could go to Michael R. Miller and say, hey, Michael R. Miller, listen, I have clout. I have followers. I have influence. Can I please get your book early so I can read it and talk about it early before September? Because I can't read it in September. I got taxes to do, bro. I can't read this shit in September. It's so good. So essentially, the Songs of Chaos series has a very classic fantasy feel to it, where you have a poor cook, the Holt cook, the son of a cook, and he somehow, through either fate or his own curiosity, stumbles upon this nest of dragon eggs as he's doing one of his cook duties, and he witnesses the matriarch of the dragon herd, or the nest there. She sniffs all the dragon eggs to see, okay, which ones are good, which ones are bad. If they're bad eggs, you get thrown out. Because more often than not, if they smell bad, the dragon that hatches out of the egg is deformed. And you can't have a deformed egg. You cannot have a deformed egg. So in that sense, they throw out those dragon eggs, and Holt was like, well, that's not nice, that's not fair, that shouldn't be, oh my god, I'm dark. How about we sit back here, though? Yeah. So, are we doing this right now? Are we really doing this right now? Are we good here? Cool. So, Holt decides in the spur of the moment to save one of the eggs that's getting thrown away. He hides it out, it hatches. Here hatches a white, blind dragon named Ash. Ash has a special ability that's unknown to other dragons at that time, because there's only 5 dragon elements, and Ash is not one of those 5. I'm not going to spoil what he is, because that is a major factor in the book. But I can tell you right now that I adore this book. I read book 1 in January, then proceeded to read books 2 and 3 within 2 days in April, and it was, once I finished reading book 3, I was like, I need book 4 right now, Michael R. Miller, where is it? I went to his Twitter. He said, I'm still working on Reckoning. I'm like, fuck. And then he's like, I'm done with the draft of Reckoning. I'm like, yes. It's coming out in September. I'm like, fuck me. So I need that book in my life right now. That is Reckoning, book 4 of the Songs of Chaos. If you want to read it with me, you better catch up on books 1 through 3. They are out right now. And I kid you not, you will not be disappointed at all. There's so many other things about this book that I want to talk about, but I've already talked about them before. You can find those in the other videos that I've talked about them in. Right now, it's about the books that I want to read later this year. The next one is a book that's already come out. It came out last year around this time, right? It's The Failures by Benjamin Lyer. And the only reason I want to read this is because of how well talked about it was by Mike Book Reviews and Patrick Leo. Because I generally don't take recommendations from influencers regardless, or like book recommenders. And I get that I'm here recommending you books and saying I don't take advice from others. I get that. But the thing is that I'm very selective with the books that I read. And so, given that I'm selective with the books I read, I was very selective in deciding to read this book in the first place. Benjamin Lyer apparently this is his debut book, and that's why it was so shocking that it was so good, because it was his debut book. Let me just tell you what the book is about, and you tell me if you're interested, okay? So, it goes, welcome to the Wanderlands. A vast machine made for reasons unknown, the Wanderlands was broken long ago when the skies went splintering and cracking, and then very slowly the whole machine, the whole world began to go dark. Meet the failures. Following the summons of a strange dream, a scattering of adventurers, degenerates, and children find themselves drawn towards the same place, a vast underground keep. They will discover there that they have been called for a purpose, and that purpose could be the destruction of everything that they love. For below the keep, imprisoning the greatest cage ever built by the magicians of the gods, lies a buried giant. It is the most powerful of its kind, and its purpose is the annihilation of all civilization. But any kind of power, no matter how terrible, is precious in the dimming Wanderlands, and those that crave it are making their moves. All machines can be broken, and the final cracks are spreading. It will only take the careless act of 2 cheerful monsters to tip the Wanderlands towards the end of its dark, or help us find its way back to the light. I don't know what any of that means. I have no clue what any of that means. I'm purely going off of vibes. And the vibe of this book looks interesting. There's a person over there who's walking their dog, and I think we made eye contact. I'm freaking out right now. Okay, so I'm purely going off of vibes right now, and I think this book is supposed to be good. I'm going to assume it's good. That's it. I think this book is supposed to be good, so I'm going to assume it's good. I'm going to read it probably next month. Because I'm in a book slump right now, and it's nothing for me to read right now. So probably next month, I'll read the book. So at some point, I do want to know if being a book influencer helps you write a book. And the first book that I'm going to start with that series in is Anji Kills a King by Evan Lakem. Book reviews kill. I followed this guy as soon as I got into Book Talk, because once his videos came across my page, I was like, I fuck with this guy. I believe it's essentially a revenge plot, but I heard there's like a really dark fantasy twist to it, as opposed to like a very high light fantasy that you sometimes see in these books. So I'm interested in that sense. Essentially, Anji, a castle servant, kills the king that she hates, that she works for, and is on the run. Cool. On her heels are the fabled mercenaries in the menagerie, whose animal-shaped masks are magic relics rumored to give them Southernian Superman powers. And then there's the hawk, who is on... Oh, fuck, there's a bug, sorry. There's the hawk, who is chasing after her, essentially, and finds her, but now is hiding Anji from the rest of the hawk's comrades, for reasons we don't know. What's really cool, and what I love, is because there's a person called the Hawk searching after her, if you look at the book cover, and you take a step back, and look at the shape of the book cover, it looks like a hawk mask with white hair. Just because of that book cover, I initially wanted to read this book, because I was like, I fuck with your vision, Evan. Evan, I fuck with your vision. Heavy. Now this next book, I applied for the arc of it over on NetGalley, and it still shows pending approval, and I don't think I'm going to get the approval by the time it comes out in November, so we're just going to assume that I'm only going to read it in November. Is Brigands and Bread Knives from Travis Baldree. It's part of his like standalone Legend and Latte series, right? Legend and Lattes followed Viv the Orc, when she was trying to make her tea shop. The next book, Bookshops and Bone Dust, was a bit of a prequel of that to Viv's story, where she was stranded on a new island area of sorts with, because one of her legs was injured or something like that, and she had the opportunity to make acquaintances in the town, one of them being Fern, the bookshop owner. Now, Brigands and Bread Knives is following Fern, the bookshop owner, who somehow, in a drunken stupor, ends up alongside a warrior and a goblin, and she has no clue where she is or how she got there. But Fern is hilarious. Fern is vulgar. Fern is crass. Fern is like sarcastic. We love Fern. We do love Fern. So I'm looking forward to Brigands and Bread Knives, because Travis Baldree writes the best low-stakes fantasy that I've read. And I'm gonna put it out there. I said it. It's not a hot take, but I said it. I stay on business with that. Okay. So that's Brigands and Bread Knives by Travis Baldree. If you haven't read the first two, I would highly recommend it. I've already read them. Legends and Lattes was my 5-star read back in 2023, I believe. And then I read Bookshops and Bone Dust December of 23. I think I read Legend of Latte at the beginning of 2023 or 2024. One of those. The last one is The Burning Queen by Aparna Verma. So I read The Phoenix King, which is book 1, back in May, at the beginning of May. And I had the amazing, humbling, truly humbling opportunity to interview Aparna Verma with my book club co-host, Tim Fasiola. And that conversation, 2 hours of that, was so good that it validated everything that I felt like I got from The Phoenix King. Let me explain. I spent 3 weeks trying to figure out how do I actually feel about this book after I finished reading it, because I didn't know. The Phoenix King is a slow burn political fantasy. It is sci-fi mixed with fantasy. It is firebending powers mixed with magic blasters. It is a father-daughter story. It is a story of betrayal, revenge. It is a story of there's a lot in this story, and I couldn't wrap my head around. Do I like it? Do I not like it? Do I like it? Do I not like it? I have come to my verdict. I love it. So the Phoenix King essentially follows Yesen Knight, Elena, and King Leo's, right? King Leo, his daughter, Princess Elena, and Yesen Knight, who has been appointed as her bodyguard. All three of them have their own thing that they're trying to do, right? They all have their own secrets. They're all hiding secrets from each other, etc. And the way the book ends, I was like, I don't love how it ends. But what I will say is that the entire story up until the ending was actually so good that I think it makes up for the ending being little so-so in my opinion. But like I said, the conversation that I had with Aparna Verma quite literally convinced me to read The Burning Queen. Like, I cannot wait for this. The book is such a surprise when you get into it. There's just so much to talk about this book, and I can't talk about it all in this video. But I talked about it I talked so long my SD card filled up. Let's go. Okay, we're gonna stop there. But the last thing I will say about the Phoenix King is that after the call with Aparna Verma, I feel like we made such a good impression on her. I think we could be friends, and she may be able to get us an early copy. And so if I get an early copy of The Burning Queen, I will quite literally die at her feet, because I'm so excited for this book. So if I get an early copy, I'll read it early. If I don't get an early copy, I will read it in November, along with everything else that's coming out in November, which is everything in this fucking list. But that being said, that is everything that I want to read in 2025, right? The Strength of the Few, which comes out in November. Reckoning, which comes out in September. The Liars, which is already out, which is on my list. Anji Kills a King, which is already out, which is on my list. Brigands and Bread Knives, which comes out in November. The Burning Queen, which comes out in November. I believe that is 6 books. Did I get all of them? Arish, did you get all of them? Brother, did you get all of them, sir? I forgot the last. Oh, y'all are gonna hate me for this. I forgot about this one, and everybody wants me to read this fucking book. Okay. So on my list for this year is reading Red Rising by who is it by? Pierce Brown. Yeah, it's by Pierce Brown. You know what? Let's just walk and talk on this one, okay? So everybody wants me to read Red Rising by Pierce Brown, okay? And I'm just like, listen, why? Why do I care about this book, right? It doesn't really matter. But that being said, I will say, you know, like I said, I usually don't read books recommended by people. I usually don't read popular books that are in mainstream media, because I think a lot of times they're overhyped. And if somebody overhypes something for me and then I'm not vibing with it, I feel disappointed. So I try not to. But Tim, Baba, Alicia, who else? Everybody else that I met on Book Talk this year, which have been amazing, they all convinced me to read Red Rising. So I said, sure, why not? I'll read Red Rising. So Red Rising is on my list for this year to read at some point. I don't know when. And I don't know if I think I'm going to buddy read it, at least with Tim, if not more people. Maybe we'll do like a little mini book club reading of it over on Book Talk Live. I'll see if I can get people on board of that to do that with me. But yeah, so we're reading Red Rising, and it should be fun. It should be very fun. I actually really like this vibe. Do y'all like this vibe of just like walking around and talking? Because I do kind of fuck with it. It's early in the morning, the birds out, we're chirping, we're talking about books, we're being cozy. and it's kind of nicer than sitting under that awning. I kind of fuck with it a little bit more. Yeah. So that is now all the books that I plan to read in 2025. And let me know what you're planning to read at the rest of this year. I would really appreciate it. And maybe that'll be more books to add for my TBR for this year or next year. Who knows? If you're new, consider subscribing and joining the archives here. I'm really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that's the goal. That's the goal. I'm just going to tell you the goal. I'm going to step away. I'm going to tell you the goal, and I'm going to step away. This is me stepping away. But I can't really step that much further because this is the extent of my arm. Hello. Hi, how you doing? This is a close-up of the wind. Anyways, I will catch y'all later. Have a great time. And the next time you see me in my studio, it might look a little bit different. Kids draw the darndest things, huh? They really do draw the darndest things. I'm looking for other things. Oh, hello. This says hi.